Hi everyone, we are live and we are going to be talking about Apollyon, and I am joined by some dumb American, aka Bae. So say hi, Bae.
Hi. Happy birthday.
Thank you. It is my birthday in both of our countries at the moment. So
Yeah.
yay.
I sent you a
Double
Pinkie Pie
birthday.
gift when it was officially your
My married
birthday.
birthday. Yep. Yeah, that made me
Oh.
happy. I like Pinkie Pie.
So we're gonna talk about Apollyon.
AKA.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't say this enough. I hate these books. I hate them. Oh boy.
Okay.
One thing that I also hate, and this is like a minor grievance that I don't know if anybody's gonna give a shit about. When you look stuff up to try to just like, when I'm feeling antsy and like I'm just like I just want to know. When you try to
Yeah.
look stuff up about this book series, the wiki is no help.
Sucks.
This has
No, I
the
think
worst wiki on the fucking planet.
that's
And like,
from memory, the wiki for Half Blood, like the page for it. I'm pretty sure that actually tells you the entire book. Like
yeah,
they've
nothing
actually,
else does that.
yeah. The rest of them are just because I even looked to see if I could just because I've read the series a couple of times. Because I don't know, don't question me. Um, I was like, maybe I could just read the synopsis and leave it at that.
Right. And I
Alas,
can't
no.
find anything because it would be helpful at least.
To have a reference guide.
Yeah, because honestly, a lot happens in this book. By the way, spoilers.
Yeah, I think it's maybe even more so than. Yeah, it's the biggest book. Sentinel is shorter than this one, so you'll be happy to hear that.
Well, yeah, this book was long. It was so long, and so much happens, and yet not a lot happens. If you're not a big fan of sitting and waiting books, this is not the book for you.
And if
I
you're
mean, this
also
isn't
not
the
a big
book for
fan
you
of
anyway.
no,
But
no, I was gonna say there's yeah, our DMs where you messaging me, it's like, oh my god, she said it's on like Donkey Kong again. Unironically.
yeah, the dialogue of this book, not
Yeah.
not the best. Okay, so how to start this? Okay, so it picks up right where Elixir leaves off,
Yes, it does.
and it picks up. So at the end of Elixir, fuck my life. Okay, what's Aiden takes her off the Elixir because he's like, she's in love with me, and that'll save us. And I'm like,
Did we yes, we did discuss Alexa, sorry. It was that last stream was just like, let's just get through two books and a novella in one stream.
yeah. Well, and
Yeah.
that's what we did. So and at the end of Elixir, like I said, he's just like, okay, love will keep us alive, whatever. So he takes her off the elixir. So then we have to spend a number of chapters in this book with Alex being like, my Seth, blah, blah, blah. And she's like taken over by Seth. And I didn't know that she could be more annoying and insufferable.
Yeah. And then
But
you
here we
read her
are.
as evil Apollyon Alex and yeah. And then
It's the worst.
yeah, and fuck, I keep thinking in my head Mason because that's the name of the best friend that dies in Ghosts in Vampire Academy, and this book is like this series is a total ripoff of Vampire Academy. What's dead best friend again? Caleb, yeah. He has to come in and be like, Alex, what, like, fucking, I just even hate hearing, because we listen to these on audiobooks because it's so much quicker and more tolerable than reading them. Every single male voice that says Alex in
it's awful. It's bad. I mean,
oh, whoops.
I've read, I've listened to a number of audiobooks now, and I will say that of the audiobooks I've listened to, I had a problem with Lorelei King in the Mercy Thompson series at first because her voice is hard to get used to. But she does all the voices for the other characters so well.
Oh, yeah. She's a brilliant narrator.
That it stops being a problem.
Yeah.
Also, what I've noticed, because I'm currently listening, to the second Five Nights at Freddy's novel. And
yeah, I can remember you telling me this.
The narrator for that is fine. She doesn't use very different voices for the other characters, and I think she does that because she knows that it would sound weird. So she just changes her cadence up.
Yeah.
And that works just fine. I mean, her voice changes a little bit, but she changes up the pace of speech and the way that the character's speaking, so it's okay.
Which is actually kind of harder to do.
Yeah, but like she makes it work. So, but what I was going to say is that the best narrator I've heard was with Ahsoka, that book, because the woman who voices Ahsoka in the series, in the animated series, both Clone Wars and Rebels, she does a really good job. But something that I've noticed with audiobooks is that for whatever reason, some narrators, and this is true of the Five Nights at Freddy's and of Justine Eyre, who does the Covenant series. What I've noticed is that the way that they phrase some stuff is awkward, which sounds weird because they're reading, but bear with me. They'll be like, "Hey, don't open that door. He said," and I'm like, "What?" Like, there's just the way that they're pacing the narrative. Does that make sense? Where like things that should flow don't.
Yeah, it's
like instead of saying like, John looked at me with probing eyes and said and like asked what's wrong. It's like, John looked at me with probing eyes and asked, what's wrong? And I can't even do it because like my brain just doesn't think to break stuff up that way.
I know, but it's kind of awkward when they and one of the most brilliant and he's an actor as well, and he's so many things, Stephen Fry. He does the British version of the Harry Potter books.
Yeah.
And by British version, I mean every English-speaking country except the US version. And he is just like, he's perfect. And never ever, no matter how much someone offers to pay you, do not listen to the US Harry Potter audiobooks.
Yeah, you sent me the first Harry Potter audiobook because I don't have access to the Stephen Fry version. So, and I listened to a sample and I was like, this is awful. And the Soul of the Dragon said they sound like they're just reading off a script. Yeah, and that's really, they're just dry reading it. And the thing about acting is that the dumber you think you sound, the dumber you feel when you're doing it, the better job you're probably doing. So when it comes to like narrating, if you're just like, Charlie walked out the door and got into a car and turned it on. It's like, or like Charlie walked out of the door with a brisk step and got into her car is like boring as shit and it's awful. Whereas if you kind of feel silly and you're like, Charlie walked out the door and with a brisk step and got into her car. Like, it just, I don't know, like put some feel a little stupid. It's worth it, I promise. Anyway, so like I said, the narration in this is awful, and I know if you're reading, it doesn't matter, but it's bad. Okay, so she's evil Alex for a while, and like nothing really happens. She's just evil.
Yeah.
And we just have to listen to her be evil. I think the better story option...
And she's schizophrenic evil.
Yeah, and I think the better story option would have been to have her be evil in Elixir and then immediately resolve it in Apollyon.
Yeah.
Because you're wasting my time at this point. I get it, she's evil. We don't have to spend 5 chapters of her being evil. There are some slow burn narratives. Trust me, I know. The book I'm writing right now it's not, I don't think it's really slowly paced, but it's a slow burn narrative where you have to stay in some spots to really feel like the characters are evolving. And when it works fabulously. It's fine.
Yeah.
Jennifer L. Armentrout is wasting my goddamn time.
I hate the way that Justine Eyre says her own name.
Yeah. By Jennifer L. Armentrout. Narrated by Justine Eyre. Okay. Which is exactly how she says it, by the way.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So at this point, like, the author's wasting your time in the first couple of chapters because nothing happens. You can skip the first couple of chapters of this book and skip to where she unevils, and you haven't missed anything.
No.
And that's the problem with this.
You missed the ghosty daddy.
Right. If you have a character who goes into a state like this, the better option is to have them actually do something. So, for example, Alex goes evil Alex and seriously injures somebody or even kills someone. That's a better option. It's a better narrative option because she
mind controls Olivia.
Yeah, that's not enough to justify wasting my time.
No, I know.
So because she's not really going to have Alex do anything that's actually evil,
it's pointless.
Making us stay in evil Alex state for a good chunk of the first part of this novel is ridiculous. Like I said, I get it with Elixir because things are actually, they're not really happening. They're sitting in a cabin, but things are kind of happening. But if you're not really going to do anything with the character in their evil state, let it go.
Yeah.
Because I get it, she's evil, she's being controlled by Seth, that's fine. But if, like I said, if you're not going to have her actually do anything when she's in that state, just
you're wasting my time.
Move on. Because it doesn't lessen the impact if we spend less time there.
Yeah.
At all. It doesn't lessen the impact of what happened to her at all, in my opinion, because you get it, she's evil Alex, and you also understand that this is one of her worst fears, whatever, and you completely understand that. So if you just move on, then you're fine. There's no more information that needs to be had, and so she could justifiably move on, but she just doesn't, and it's annoying.
Yeah, it's
also hi Peter.
Oh, hi, Peter.
Sorry.
Yeah, we know he gets upset if he's not acknowledged. And now I forget what I was going to say. Give me 1 second, actually.
Okay.
I need to just sort the bubble out.
Yeah, I'll keep talking. So, as far as narratives like this go, and this is just this is an issue with the writing and the actual story. And yeah, the Soul of the Dragon brought up a good point. But if she kills someone, then she has to face repercussions for her actions, which is actually an interesting aspect to a story that you could throw in there, because this is somebody who doesn't want to kill people, who doesn't want to hurt people. So if you have her seriously injure somebody or even kill someone, there's actual character development to be had. And this is an overarching issue with these novels, is that our protagonist doesn't go through any character development at all. There's just none to be had. So like I bitched about in our very first live stream about this, she can't even bring herself to prick a demon's finger, which is so stupid. Like, all she had to do was kill him. And then she's told immediately after that, oh, you killed 2 demons. That's like, holy shit. And you as the reader know how easy it would have been to take out a 3rd, and how easy it is to kill these things. So when people are calling her amazing, you're just like, no, she's not. So then once we get to this book, where she's actually doing something that would be difficult to do, and somebody calls her amazing again, it means nothing. Because over the year, in book time, all of this happens within like a year. So over the year, because of the way that everybody acknowledges everything that she does is amazing, there's no development. Because nobody was like, you could have killed that demon. And even she's not like, I could have killed that demon. So she doesn't even acknowledge her own shortcomings. And if she's not acknowledging her own shortcomings, then as a character, there's no way for her to grow. And it's a big issue with her character development, because somehow over the course of 4 books and 2 novellas, there's no character development whatsoever. And that's a problem, in my opinion.
Sorry, I was listening to all that.
Yeah, and I knew you were. That's why I kept talking. At least I think
you're right. There was...
Sorry.
Like, oh, I activated Siri. Whoops. Fuck off. There we go. Throughout the series, she kind of... I think the closest thing she comes to character development in the whole series, and I can't remember which book this happens in. Oh fuck, when does it happen? Is she acknowledges that she is the one that started the feud with Leah. That's it.
Yeah, that happens. Which
that's the only character development that she has.
But had she been like, I totally could have killed those demons and I froze and that sucked and I need to work hard and make myself better, that's a protagonist that you can get behind just as a reader, because they want to grow. They've got drive to grow. And you as the reader can appreciate that, because you can appreciate that they want to get better.
Yeah.
And that they want to improve. Whereas her, because everybody's just telling her she's amazing. I mean, when she takes out a horde of, what are they called? The bull things?
Oh, automatons.
With Akasha, Aiden says that she's amazing, which is the same thing that he said to her when she couldn't prick a demon's finger with a garden spade. So he's acknowledging these 2 scenarios as the same thing, and you're just like, so nothing's changed, because she's so amazing and she's so brave, even though she's not. And it's hard to like a protagonist like that. It really is. It's hard for me anyway. I know that she's a popular female protagonist somehow.
Yeah, well, we're not 14.
Yeah. So she's difficult to like. Okay, so we spend all this time sitting around in limbo land.
Yeah, which is annoying. And then she mind woo-woos Olivia and escapes.
And then she fights with Aiden.
Yep. And runs away and goes outside of the protection of the cabin.
And then Thanatos shows up, I think. I think so.
The Furies show up.
Oh yeah, the Furies and Thanatos show up.
Yeah. And then she comes to her senses.
Yeah, and then she breaks the connection with. Well, she breaks the connection with Seth, and then Thanatos and the Furies show up.
That's right. And then Thanatos is like, doesn't Thanatos see that she's broken it? And he's like, I'm not going to kill you.
Apollo shows up.
Oh, okay.
I think.
I can't remember. Someone shows
There's
up.
A god fight. Somebody shows up. And
that's right.
Honestly,
no, Thanatos and the Furies do try and kill her, because then Thanatos shows up at a because I've read Sentinel or listened to Sentinel as well, so I'm trying to remember what happens.
No, at the end of the book, Thanatos does show up.
Okay, yep. So he does try and kill her initially.
Yeah, so he does try to kill her initially, and then I think like the Furies get bopped and Apollo shows up. So
yeah.
Then nothing else. We sit in limbo land for a long time.
Yeah, they train.
And they train. And training is a good thing. But things need to happen when you train.
The only thing that happens when they train is she lets off air a little bit, because apparently air is like the hardest element to fight against. Because once it knocks you down,
it's the most common element for pures to have, so it's the most common element for demons to have.
Yeah, but then also because you know, if there's a fire element, you can run away from the fire, you can put it out, you can do something. Same with water. Well, not put it out, but you know what I mean. But with air, they can actually push you down and hold you on the ground.
Yeah.
So they're doing that, and she lets off air a little bit with Leia, and that's the biggest controversy of this whole training thing, where Aiden's like, I know what you did.
Yeah.
That was one of the weirdest things out of this whole book. That whole
because also when you're actually listening to it, she doesn't say that she lets off air.
No.
But it's just everybody knows it, and you're like, I'm in your head and I didn't know it. So that was bad writing. So training, here's my thing about training, because the book I'm writing right now, and this is because I'm writing this part, has training in it.
Yeah.
But shit happens in every training session that I zoom in on. Something new happens. Whereas with this, nothing happens. Nobody gets better. Nobody improves. Nobody learns anything new. And in the prequel series to the series I'm writing right now, sorry, Siri, also has training in it. But if you're going to put training in a book, something has to happen. Because you can easily kind of gloss over training sessions. Like, we trained to, like, you know, keep ourselves nimble or whatever. And then you can just time lapse.
Yeah.
And as long as you're notating that time is lapsing, it doesn't feel rushed.
No.
Because you're getting to the good stuff.
Yeah, pretty much every book that has like an extended period of training will do that.
Right, because with training, like I said, you zoom in on the stuff that's important.
Yeah.
And you just time lapse over the stuff that's not.
Yeah.
And it's okay to do that. It is. It's okay to do that. You don't have to take me through training sessions that don't matter.
No, and oh fuck, what was I gonna say? Oh, you know what we didn't discuss in the last book? The fact that they chose the Spider-Man cake over the My Little Pony cake.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Should have gone with My Little Pony.
Of course. Sorry.
Yeah.
What happens
So
after
yes, there's a
training?
lot of training. Like I said, for how long this book is, nothing happens. And then they decide that they're going to go to the underworld.
Oh, that's right, because because when she becomes the Apollyon, she gets all the memories of the other Apollyons. And
But then so back in the past there was the first set of two Apollyons, and the girl's name was Solaris.
yeah.
And so
And
she's like,
Apollo,
Solaris has info that we need, so we've got to go to the underworld.
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
And Apollo is because by this stage I don't know if we discussed it or not already, but by this stage we already know that all of the Apollyons are descended from Apollo.
Right.
And we know that Alex is descended from Apollo, and so part of it as well is because I think Solaris wasn't meant to exist as the
Mm-hmm.
well at all. So Solaris was made by another god, and same with Seth.
Right.
And this time the other god got the order right and made his Apollyon before Apollo's Apollyon was born. And I can't remember if that's relevant to them going down to see Solaris, but it is relevant to.
It's not, but it's relevant to the plot. And here's the other thing: is that a lot of the downtime is spent with them trying to figure out who the god is. But they made it clear in like Deity, you could figure out who it was.
Yeah.
Because Ares is referenced throughout the whole thing, and I think in Deity they even say, or in one of the books they say something along the lines of it would be one of the major gods. And all of the gods that they proposed to you to be like, oh, it's not Ares, can't be the god because they're not a major god. I mean, because for a minute they're like, it's Probs Hermes, or it's Probs this person.
Oh, and
you're like,
what's the drunky god?
Dionysus.
Yeah, like they even think Dionysus for half a second, and it's like, really?
It's this half-assed attempt at leading you astray.
Yeah, and Hermes is their strongest red herring.
But it's not, because you know that Hermes is not a major god that could do that.
Yeah.
Because they list them out, who the gods could be, and it's not Hermes. You know it's not Hades.
No, because he wants to kill Alex.
Yeah. You know it's not Hades. You know it's not Artemis. You know it's not Zeus because Zeus isn't really involved.
Zeus doesn't give a fuck about shit.
You know it's not Poseidon.
Because he wiped out the Covenant.
All you're left with is Ares, but they keep trying to bring up red herrings, and there are no red herrings to be had. I mean, it's obvious that it's Ares, but we have to spend all this time dicking around, pretending like we don't already know that it's Ares.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Do you remember when you were first reading it? Do you remember when you figured out that it was Ares?
No, I don't. I remember that I wasn't surprised when it was like, oh, it was Ares. I was surprised at who Ares was, though.
When I figured out that it was...
Oh, wait, no, I wasn't. Well, I was surprised when I worked out who Ares was, but that was before they revealed who Ares was.
So once I figured out that it was Ares, I looked it up because I didn't give a shit. And so I wasn't surprised by who it was. Because I had looked it up, but I knew that it was Ares pretty quickly.
Yeah. No, I think I did work it out long beforehand.
And the reason why I worked it out so quickly was because they talk about a lot of the other major gods except Ares. He leaves him out of every god discussion. And you know it has to be a major god, so you're like, so it's Ares. Because they go over the fact that Poseidon doesn't want war. Zeus doesn't want war.
Yeah.
All these other major gods don't want war.
Soul of the Dragon, the god of war, a villain, ridiculous. Yeah.
I mean, like, she makes it so obvious that it's Ares. So she's dicking around, wasting her time, and on a lot of different fronts, and it's obnoxious. So they go to the underworld, and
Via the graveyard from Supernatural.
Okay.
Sorry, that's literally what happens here. Anyone who has seen the first season of Supernatural, whatever, whenever they finally kill the fucking demon dude that killed their mum in Supernatural, that graveyard, that's the graveyard in this book.
Yeah.
And the gays get all sad that they don't get to go because they might run into Sam and Dean, and it's like, that's a TV show. It's a TV show. Sam and Dean aren't real.
Dumb. Okay, so we go through the underworld, and there's a lot of tension, and it's probably the best part of the book tension-wise. But then they go to these caves, and there's this pool of water. And Alex, this pissed me off. So she's a fucking idiot. She takes a bath in underworld water, and nothing bad happens to her. And Aiden, who's like, don't touch anything, takes a bath.
He's like, oh, you're naked. Me too. And then they have a bath together.
What?
I would have been taking like fucking baby wipes in my wash myself with rather than bathe in underwater shit. Underworld stuff. You know what I mean?
She should have died for that. I'm sorry that. Okay. I'm not familiar with underworlds, okay? But I know that it's not a good idea to just go swimming naked in one. And she faces no repercussions. I mean, Aiden's like, don't do it. And she's like, okay. And he goes away for 5 seconds. And then she's naked in the tub. And instead of being like, what the fuck, get out of the, what are you doing? He's like, all right, let's go, bitch. And I'm like,
yeah. They have underworld sex. In the water. Are you having a stroke?
I am, because if you want them to have sex, fine. But you've made it out like if you touch anything in the underworld, for you, right?
Yeah, like you can't eat anything from the underworld because, you know.
Then you can't leave.
Exactly. So why would you go swimming in... Yeah,
and there's no consequences, which pissed me off. I was like, she should at least not have a leg or something. Fuck's sake.
Bae, to say she doesn't like this book is understatement, I think, of the year.
It is. And here's another issue with the writing. And they try to smooth it over, but I'm not buying it. Because let's face it, if Alex were dead, the book would be over and nothing bad would happen. But instead, they play it off as, okay, give me a sec. Okay. But instead, they're like, we need you to become the god killer so that you can kill Ares. Why?
So he doesn't make another Apollyon?
So the fuck what? Why? Who gives a I mean, because if Alex doesn't become the doodle, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Story's over. Ares can't do shit. If Alex is dead, Ares can't do shit. and the series is over. They try to gloss it over, like, we need you to become the god killer.
Because they can just lock him up with the Titans. Like, done.
There are ways to deal with the all they have to do is kill her. And I know that sounds awful, but at the same time, these are gods. And I don't, are half-bloods immortal, or can they die of old age?
No, all the peeps die of old age.
So she's gonna die soon anyway. I mean, in God time, relative God time, she's gonna die soon anyway. I mean,
yeah.
And then Apollo spins it as, "Oh, I take care of my own."
It's like, I'm sorry, but like, I know that she's your descendant and all, but not by much. Not really. Like you birthed her ancestor. Well, you fathered her ancestor. Like, how many millennia ago?
Right. So the other thing is that were she to get killed, like, the underworld isn't that bad, and if Alex is killed by Apollo, she doesn't go to their equivalent of hell.
Yeah.
And everybody who's not in hell is having a fun time in the underworld.
Unless they're in the Veil of Mourning.
Right. There's no good reason to keep her alive. Because like you said, if she's dead, the conflict is over and Ares can't do anything. But because of her very existence, she's still supercharging Seth and making Seth crazy and power hungry. Whereas if she just died, that's the end of the story.
Calm down.
And like I said, she tries to smooth this over, but I'm not buying it. I mean, like, is there something I'm missing?
She's the main character.
Okay. I mean, I'm sorry.
That's it. She's the main character.
If there's something I'm missing, please tell me.
Well, you do have to be happy that she gets her ass absolutely fucking handed to her. This
Oh yeah, by Ares.
Yeah, he like completely destroys her. The only reason that she's still alive is literally because she has a rune that protects her from being killed.
Right. I mean, like, that's true. I mean, and look, it was a humbling moment for her and for me. I was really happy about it. But like I said, to me, it just doesn't make sense. Why they can't kill her.
No. Because she's the main fucking character. I don't like it. You don't like it. No one likes it. But she's the main character. And even when what should be the happiest moment for me happens to her, it doesn't happen right, and it's awful, and it's my least favorite part of the series.
Wait, what?
Next book.
She has a kid?
No, she doesn't have a kid.
Okay.
It's...
What happens?
Spoilers for Sentinel. Like, not that anyone in chat cares, because you aren't reading this book, because if you do after listening to this...
don't.
If you do, you deserve all the suffering you get. In Sentinel, obviously she kills Ares because fantasy, right? Like, it has to go down that way. But then they can't allow a god killer to live, and Ares is dead, so he can't dead Seth, so she has to get deaded now, doesn't she? Because she's played her part. But because as a result of seeing if it happens in this book or not. Yeah, you know how her mum gives her a drink
Yeah.
at the end of this book?
Yeah.
That's like, oh, I can't remember the name of it, but it's like some sort of demigod makey drink.
That's the drink that she's drinking in this book?
Yes. So when
Aren't you
she
supposed to
gets
like do
fed,
something heroic?
she kills Ares.
As if.
Yeah.
Sorry, but as if
Yeah.
she could kill Ares.
Well, that's a whole nother conversation for Sentinel. Trust me, like,
I'm sorry. Like bullshit she can kill Ares.
It's so cringy. It's so cringy how she works out how to fucking kill him.
Let me guess, there's no epic battle. It's just
No,
some
there is
stupid
an epic
loophole.
battle.
Okay.
Um,
How does she kill him?
they freed the Titan god of war, Perseus. 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 It sounds like the guy's name from Clash of the Titans, but there's one letter missing. And he's something else. And then he and Ares battle a bit, and then he like poofs out of there, and then her and Ares battle, and she kills him. And then sorry, then she has to say goodbye to her former life, so she does like another boat ceremony, and she officially becomes a demigod. And oh, what do you know, Aiden negotiates his way into becoming a demigod too, and so she like releases her spirit boat, turns around, Aiden's there, and they're like, surprise, we're both demigods. And they get to live half their life, like 6 months underworld time in the underworld, then 6 months real world time in the real world, and so on and so forth.
Okay, back to this actual. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So back to this book. So they're in the underworld, and I was actually kind of excited for this arc because like something is about to happen. Fucking finally. But they get there, and then Persephone's just like, hey, what do you want? How can I help you? Welcome to Moe's.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Oh wait, you need access to like the calling water. Okay. Cool. Just Caleb, don't stand me up for Super Mario Kart again. Okay? Thanks. Bye. Oh, and apparently she wears like see-through clothing and you see nipple.
And Caleb may or may not be boning Persephone.
I would probably say that even Caleb's not that keen for torture.
Yeah. And it's at this part of the book, like you already, if you like have a brain, you already know it's Ares, but then like she's in like a war room where the calling water is, and it's like basically like it's Ares, and you're like, okay, yeah.
Well, it's
like
not just it's Ares. It's Instructor Romby.
Right. Which I'm
And
like, at least you
Ares.
had that planned, I guess. It makes sense because he's the only, like, other than like Marcus and Lucian, he's the only adult that gets mentioned. Honestly, another issue I have with this book is that for how many people the Alex actually comes into contact with, there are like 3 characters. Like Deacon and Luke are a thing, sort of, but they're in the background. Leah and Olivia are in the background. I do like Deacon, but even her best friend Caleb is a background character. The only characters of any significance are Aiden, Seth, and Marcus.
Yeah.
And barely.
Apollo?
Yeah, Apollo's a major character too, but I mean, she's not. she's not an isolated person. It's not as though she has to go on an adventure with only these people.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people with her. And the people who are with her are so, they just don't matter.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
she and Olivia's probably like the closest person that she's got to like a real friend.
Yeah,
And
they get a bit more bondy in the next book.
yeah, I'm just saying, like, there should be more characters than just Aiden. Because now that Seth is kind of out of the picture, it's just Aiden. He's the main character.
Yeah.
Or, like, he's not the main character, but he's one of the only characters that
He's
is
the
of
main
any
secondary
significance.
character.
Yeah, so your secondary cast is incredibly limited.
Yeah. Yeah, people that should be secondary characters are more like tertiary characters.
Right, because these are people that she's living with for a number of months.
Yeah, like, and what's his name? Solaris.
Solus.
I like him.
I do too. And like I said,
I really wish we got more of him.
Yeah, but we don't get any of secondary characters. I mean, like I said, there's Aiden and then there's Marcus to a lesser extent. And there's Seth, and those are really the only fleshed out secondary characters.
Yeah.
The rest don't matter because at the end of the day, this is a romance series. The romantic plot is the most important plot.
Yeah.
It's the only plot that's really thought out because, like I said, she set this up to where the most logical solution is to just kill her.
And they don't.
So they get done with the underworld, they go back, and then they're like, we have to go to the university.
Oh wait, because that's right. They went down. She asked how to become the god killer herself instead of Seth. And
it's the easiest shit that they could have figured out, where it's like, she just has to do the thing that...
You just did the same thing that Seth's going to do to you.
And here's the thing, 2 books ago, she was told that power can flow both ways. There's your fucking answer. Just do the same thing that Seth was going to do.
Yeah, did Grandma Paperi tell her that?
Yeah, this wasn't...
I miss Grandma Paperi. I wish she didn't poof. I like crazy old ladies. What can I say?
I'm just saying, like, that because that quest was pointless, because we just learned information that we already had. Because it's like power flows both ways, just do the thingy.
Yeah, I just need to interrupt Mag Bastard. I love Greek mythology and I feel your pain. It looks like he's gonna rage quit the stream very soon.
I don't know enough about Greek mythology to be mad, and I'm glad I don't.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure I'd be pissed about this whole thing.
One thing that they do in this book is what they also do in like the Hercules movie, where it's all the Greek gods' names except for Hercules, and they use the Roman name for him. Like Hercules, I think only gets mentioned like once in passing, but they call him Hercules, not Heracles. And just being a bit of a geek there, leave me alone.
No, it's okay. So then
I swear it's Heracles. Or is he... Oh, maybe he's referring to the beginning of what I was saying. Sorry. Carry on.
So then they get there, and then there's a fight with the automatons. Leah dies, and then they go to the thing, and then Romvi shows up. He's Ares. She gets beaten up. They take her to the outskirts of Olympus. Apollo's son fixes her. She says hi to her mom, drinks, bookends. I mean, that's how simple this book is.
Yeah.
And this book, so even in a series, okay, I don't think I have to go over this. Like, if you took an English class in middle school, you probably know this, but there's the beginning, there's the build-up, there's a climax, there's a resolution. That's how story arcs work. Okay, beginning, build-up, climax, resolution, end.
Yeah.
And in a series, you have a build-up, then you have the major climax of the entire series, and then you have the resolution. That said, in a series, in a trilogy, quintillet, whatever, in a series of books, you have the major series, but then in each book specifically, you have the same thing, where there's the beginning, the build-up, where the conflict is, climax, resolution.
Mm-hmm.
And in a lot of times, the build-up is faster in like the middle books of a series because you've established a lot already.
Yeah.
But this book doesn't follow an arc. There's no overall goal of the book. It's just, let's sit around for a while. Let's go to the underworld and have it be completely inconsequential. Let's go here. And then there's no point to the book. It's just
literally,
it's like the movie. It's like the Deathly Hallows Part 1, where you're just like, why did I just watch that?
Yeah, it's literally 3 things. There's 3 things in this book that you need to just keep in mind for the next book, which is 1, she's not linked to Seth anymore. 2, the god is Ares. And 3, she can become the god killer by doing what Seth was going to do to her. But first.
And there could have been... So how I would have done this if I was stupid enough to write... Sorry.
She deaded, Wait, no. That happens in the next book. Never mind.
How I would have
actually,
done...
you'll be happy. There'll be Actually, you'll be happy and angry in the next book. Because she does a bad, and then it's almost like there's going to be consequences for it. So you'll get happy, and then there's nothing.
Okay. So, how I would have done this book.
Oh, we never rated it.
Oh. 0.
1.
Don't read these fucking books. That's how I feel about it. Also, can I just say that the romance, because now that they can be out of the closet about it. Just because people are allowed to know that you're fucking doesn't mean that you have to broadcast it every 5 seconds.
Yeah. Because I can remember telling you this, that like Aiden will like do like sexual innuendo shit, like say stuff to her in front of Marcus. Like, I can't remember exactly what he said, but it's something like, well, I can't wait to get you upstairs. And Marcus is like, do you have to? I'm right here. Niece. Like, wrong relationship. Niece. Uncle. Former Sentinel. I can kill you. Can you not?
It's gross.
It's so gross. And then I
and it's the exact opposite of Aiden's character as well.
He is not a PDA.
But he is.
But he shouldn't be. If his character was consistent...
No, he wouldn't be.
He wouldn't be. It would be a... the most he would do is, especially in a more formal setting, or not even necessarily a formal setting, but outside of their core group, the most he would do would be to like give her a hand squeeze if something like rough is happening.
Yeah.
And then let go.
That's his character. And it would work better because it's
her character.
Yeah, it's like it's inhuman behavior because it doesn't even make sense. I mean, people don't act like that. Even people that are married and like everybody knows that they're married, they don't act like that. And it's stupid, but
unless they're drunk.
Yeah.
And Aiden's not. Oh, freaking! And the stupid scene when they're driving in that car, and Aiden only eats one bun off of his burger, and she's like, "Why do you only eat one bun?" He's like, "Because one bun's enough." And then she starts like fantasizing about like their life together and growing old together and having a fat cat that she feeds Aiden's leftover buns.
And then she like hangs it in front of him and she's like, eat it. Leave him alone.
You can tell.
Or better yet, don't
You
give
can
a stupid fucking quirk like he only eats one bun.
Yeah, and you can tell it's only been like 2 days, like where she's been quote unquote sane since she was 17 in that scene. Because I know like there was a lot longer period, but she was evil for half of it, so But she's a 14-year-old girl.
It's
Like
the dumbest scene.
She is.
When I was listening to it, I was just like, is she?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, she's. Dear Aiden, don't stick your dick in that crazy. Too late, he did. He did.
God. So how, like I was going to say, how I would have done this book was, first of all, I wouldn't have completely telegraphed that it was Ares. But I would have made the book about them figuring out who the god is.
And they'd have to like, not necessarily quest, but like sleuth.
Yeah, I would have made it a sleuthy book because that would have made sense. I don't know that it would have been enough to make an entire book out of it.
It would depend on how they went about it.
Yeah, but that's what they should have done. Whereas this one is just wasting my time, wasting my time, wasting my time, wasting my time.
Gets us kicked.
I mean, this book could have been bullet points and I would have gotten the same amount of things out of it. It could have been like, she's not evil. She got to do the thing in reverse, but you already knew that. It's Ares. Okay, done.
Oh, wait, there's one other thing in the fight with Ares that will become consequential. Wait. But it's only slightly hinted at. Fuck, I can't even pronounce this guy's name. Is it in the thingy? Please be in the... Because, again, the only good thing about these books is they have a nice pronunciation guide for you. Holy fuck. There's like full-blown, like... I actually won't be able to see it, but because we were listening to it, it's... Mm-hmm. We never noticed, but there's like full-blown, like, Greek letters.
Oh.
Like Greek.
Yeah, you would have never known that.
No, but Apollo's son.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Asclepius.
Yeah.
And he's like, "There's something else here just before she passes away. That's important."
Okay.
When he's like healing her.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this book could have been bullet points. Nothing major really happens in it, which is saying something because it's a long-ass book.
Yeah, again, it's the longest book in the series. And
like I said, the underworld doesn't matter because, because the old lady's like, power can flow both ways. And you're like, oh, so all she has to do is the thing in reverse. You know this. She knows this. She's an idiot. And I'm like, why are you wasting my time with an underworld trip to learn things we already know? I mean, the old lady told you.
Shoehorn Caleb in.
That's the other thing, and I don't like it when this happens. If you're going to kill characters...
Kill them.
Kill them. Because she's got a big mom moment, and I'm like, no. If you're going to kill a character, kill them. Don't half-ass it. Kill them.
there are ways that you can kind of have a dead character not be dead, and it works.
But every character
yeah,
that deads is not actually dead. It doesn't matter. Caleb still does Caleb stuff. Mom still moms. Mom is dead.
I think
Keep mom dead.
I think I'm probably going to have to mute our DMs when you read Sentinel so I can get a break from the tirade. That's going to be coming from me. I'm not going to lie. I actually find them quite amusing.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to spam you, but
I'm going to be sad if you don't spam me with a tirade in Sentinel because I know that you're going to want to. Because especially after she deads.
Don't be gross. Okay.
Oh, thank you, Nada Charlemagne.
So.
Oh, don't be gross.
Yeah, that's why I bopped him. Don't be gross.
Thank you. I'm a mother. I have my child here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It'll be weird elsewhere. I forget what I was gonna say. I really do. It was nothing happens. A lot of this could have been inserted, like, so you don't need the underworld trip. You just don't. This could have been the first quarter of the last book, and it would have worked.
Yeah. And again, though, on the plus side, she did get brutally tortured by Ares.
Right. But it was a weird place to end the book because you spend so much time doing nothing that when that happens, you're like, finally a thing.
Oh, it's over.
Yeah. And I'm like, she should have come out of it in Elixir. This is how I would have structured it. She could have come out of it in Elixir. Before, she would have been like, all I have to do is set stuff in reverse because she's told point blank that that's all she has to do. So she should know this. So she already knows that. She comes out of it in Elixir. They go to the university to try to figure out who the god is. The god shows up. She's tortured by Ares. She goes to Olympus.
Someone gets deaded on the way there. Leo?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Who gives a shit? I don't care. She gets tortured. She comes back, and then you have the rest of the story. That should have been how they did it. This didn't need to be this book didn't need to exist.
Yeah.
These are things you could have shoved elsewhere because nothing happens in this book. I mean, things happen, but it's like when the book actually decides to do something, it's over. And you're like, oh. Because even the exciting trip to the underworld gets neutered because Persephone's just like, have some cake. I'm like, okay.
Metaphorically, not literally, because they'd be stuck in the underworld.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised, though. So, yeah, there's...
She seemed to be hitting on Aiden a little bit.
But, I mean, I don't even remember, because you can, like you said, this book is bullet points. It's bullet points. It doesn't matter. And, like, I think that if you were going to structure these, if I was going to fix these books...
Yeah, sorry, I just remembered something else. Ares, okay. I don't know if it actually... I can't remember if it's actually clear in the fight scene or if it's just mentioned afterwards. He hacks her hair off.
Oh yeah, I read that on the wiki.
Yeah, he hacks her hair off and like she's not bald, but like he just yanked and I don't know, just Alex is a vain as fuck bitch. So when she got like tagged literally everywhere, and then she gets her hair hacked off, I'm just like sucked in.
Honestly, the vain part would be endearing if she was a good character.
Yeah.
But on top of everything, it's just annoying.
If this is made into a movie franchise, Mag Bastard will pay for your movie tickets.
I could see this being made into a franchise, honestly.
Can you imagine like it being a TV series? And not suiciding after watching 3 episodes. Although
Are they planning to do anything?
I don't think so. But you know how, like, for example, it could be like Vampire Diaries, where the books are awful and the series is melodramatic as fuck, but in a good way. Are you about to cry?
No, I'm just like,
oh,
it's not a thing that's planned. Thank goodness.
Excellent.
Because it shouldn't be. But that's really all I have to say. Like, I wish I had more to bitch about. It's just that nothing happens in these books. Like, I'm kind of used to us talking about the Mercy Thompson series where shit goes down.
So much happens.
And there's just nothing that happens in these books, so there's nothing for us to really talk about.
We need to do the next Mercy Thompson book next, I think.
Well, we're gonna do the Francina Simone book
that's right.
next, and then we'll do the next Mercy Thompson book, and then we'll go on to
Sentinel.
Yeah, because I need a break from this bullshit series.
With another bullshit series.
I hope it's good. I at least want the story to be good.
Honestly, the plot sounds intriguing.
It does. And we're talking about the Francina Simone. It's called The Keeper's Vow, and the cover art's pretty.
So's this.
Yeah. I really want it to be good. I hope it's good. But that's all I've got.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't know why there was so many pages.
Were earlier books good, or you were intentionally reading crap? No, we intentionally read crap.
Yeah, it was because we were doing...
Watch the first stream we did about this.
Yeah, we're doing the Mercy Thompson series, and we love those books, and it's like, well, we need something to bitch about. So I suggested the Covenant series.
Because it's more fun if we have something to be upset about.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, I guess, so it'll be a while before we get to Sentinel because I need a break. Like I said, we're going to do the Keeper's Vow next.
Through this book. You started it like a week ago. It took you a while to get through this book. You started it like a week ago or something.
It was hard to binge. I mean, the other books, I could binge.
Stuff happened.
Yeah, I could binge and it was okay. This book took me a while.
Yeah, and honestly, so much more happens in Sentinel.
Yeah, Apollyon was written to fill a quota. I mean, I don't know. Do publishers have quotas? I don't know a lot about publishers.
Yeah. I'm a lot of. She was a USA Today best-selling author.
Honestly, that's part of, real quick, because people have asked me, and I'm going to answer this in the Q&A video. People have asked me, are you going to self-publish? Are you going to try to use a publisher? I don't want a publisher. I really don't. I want to self-publish because
I went to check if this was through a publisher, which it is. Spencer Hill Press.
Because I have a number of series ideas, and I've got some other things planned out. Huh?
A number.
I've got a lot of shit planned, okay? Like, it's a lot. But right now I only have the prequel series and the main series outlined specifically. And I know that they're both trilogies, and I know exactly what I want to do. And like I said, people have asked me, are you going to go self-publish, or do you want to go through a publisher? And I get it. A publisher makes it distribution easier and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to go through a publisher because I don't want to have to write a bad book to fill a quota.
Yeah. And also with a publisher, right, you get fuck all. Like, I like, I don't know if any, like, if people truly understand how much time you spend on all of this stuff and on how much time you spend working it out and thinking about it and all of that.
Yeah, I mean, Marra can vouch for me. Books that I won't be able to put out for another 5 years or so are already planned.
Yeah.
So in 5 years, when you're wondering, did she plan all? Yes, I did. All of this is planned. I've got a timeline over there of like the whole entire book universe I'm working on. And some of this stuff is stuff that will not come out, that I won't be able to get out within like 4 or 5 years. I mean, so yes, it's all planned, by the way. Yeah, I mean, just with how much stuff there is. Like, unless I spend all day, every day writing, this will take me a long time to actually get out. And I want to be my own boss. I mean, the only way that I would consider using a publisher is if they were begging me and I got to negotiate all of my terms. That's the only possible way I would do it, which is not likely because they're not going to let you boss them around. And I don't want to be bossed around. And also with publishing, you get paid in advance. You get paid a small chunk of royalties.
Like really small chunk.
A really small chunk, because and the publishing company gets most of it.
Yeah, I think some publishers only give you 10%.
Yeah.
Whereas if you self-publish, it's like, what, 50, 60, and the rest goes into the printing costs?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
But you get royal. I mean, like, you get way more royal. Like, you don't get an advance, so you rely on the book actually selling well. But at the end of the day, I'd rather be my own boss. And I mean, with the platform that I have, and I think my writing will speak for itself, I don't think I need a publisher.
No.
And I don't want one.
And pretty much, again, like, there are so many ways that you can market your book, and like, all you need to do is grab 30 good reviewers. Like, you go on Goodreads and find people whose review style or taste in books would fit, review, like, well trafficked review blogs, etc., etc., and you send them an e-copy of your book.
Yeah.
And like, before it publishes, and they review it, and if they like it, then that's free marketing right there.
And given the fantasy books that I've seen other YouTubers write,
yeah,
I think that my book is better. I don't want to sound like full of myself, but I think at the very least my writing is a lot more coherent, and I think my characters are better. I think my characters are actually likable.
Yeah, and like I was saying to you the other day, like, because for those of you that don't know, because I don't think you'd have an issue with people knowing this, I read what you write.
Yeah, you give me feedback.
Yeah, and especially your last 3 chapters, because, like, let's be honest, your first few chapters on any project, you're probably gonna go back and
I'm gonna have to go back and fix them up, because they're stiff, because it's a new character, it's a new
and but like your last 3 chapters, oh my, like, I have not had a single thing to criticize. I love them.
I think I've like hit a sweet spot, and like I'm really excited about it.
You know your characters now. You know them you can get in their head, you can write them, you're there, like
Yeah.
with what you need to do with them.
And
your book can't be worse than this series. It's not really the best comparison because I'm pretty sure my daughter's Night book is better than this series.
well, the other thing that's a little bit different is that the other books that we're reading from authors on YouTube are young adult, whereas mine is not. I mean, Jenna Marisi advertises her book as new adult. It is written as a young adult book. I'm sorry. The writing style is young adult. I mean, and it's honestly one of the less mature styles of young adult writing.
Yeah. The mean girl. Fucking she full blown went mean girl.
So Jenna, when she's tweeting about editing, she tweets about how much word trimming she's doing.
You said this the other day to me, and I agree.
Because I get it, you have to like rearrange stuff and trim words. She does not need to. She needs more, because like in books, she's like, there are descriptors you can get rid of and all this kind of stuff, and I'm like, yeah, but those flourishes are important.
Yeah.
When you're describing somebody's body language, when you're describing the atmosphere of a room, those little. I mean, if it's genuinely really unneeded, get rid of it.
Amazing.
What?
Yeah, it's weird. And it's weird because her videos and her advice is amazing.
But she takes none of it. She doesn't follow any of it.
No, she doesn't, which is sad.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to read The Savior's Champion, and I hope that it's good. But because her fight scenes are incredible. Because Jenna's fight scenes are really, really good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That is one thing that she does really, really, really well.
But the rest of it's very rigid. And I think it's because she's cutting way too much out of the book.
Yeah, and I think this, The Savior's Champion will be interesting as well because the MC isn't going to be... Are you right? Sorry, he did gross stuff. The Savior's Champion isn't going to have an MC that is like her fulfilling her own fantasies.
Yeah, whereas
like, Eve the Awakening, Eve is her.
Eve is tall, thin, long wavy hair, dry sense of humor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
So.
Yeah. Eve is Jenna.
I don't really, like I said, we're kind of like way off this topic, but I don't know. That's all I've got right now.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm also bloody tired, as people can probably see.
So we're doing the Keeper's Vow next. Probably something.
Yeah, we'll work that out.
Yeah. I don't want to sign off your stream, but.
Oh yeah, that's right. I've got to do that. Well, thanks people for watching and stuff, and awkward Marra sign off now. Bye guys.
Bye guys.